What's up, everybody? Welcome into my YouTube channel, Phillip Jordan Sports. Of course, I am Phillip Jordan, writer for the Auburn Wire over at USA Today and Last Word on College Football. Of course, during high school football season, you can check me out on 96.9 The Legend, where I'm the in-studio host and producer, Ducks and Wolves Football. And welcome into this introduction and kind of an episode of the maiden voyage of Talking Wrestling. Big wrestling fan. Been since the 90s. I mean, I'm 38 years old, and I love this business, sports entertainment, wrestling, whatever you want to call it. And I'm a big WWE guy. So I wanted to start doing this. I kind of tried this a few years ago, did a WrestleMania thing by myself. And I've done other videos here and there on wrestling, but not something that's going to be on a regular basis. And that's what it's going to be. Look, we're not going to go an hour a lot of times on this show. Maybe if I have a guest, which this is not going to be a guest driven show, it's going to be me talking wrestling. And for everybody checking out on YouTube, obviously you can't see me. The first one, just it's an audio only. You've got the logo up on the screen. But on Saturday, following Night of Champions, I will go live on YouTube, maybe some of my older social channels on Facebook, and I'll just kind of talk about the event. So that may go a little longer if I have a lot of interaction from people checking out the live stream. But the show will pop up once or twice a week. May do something on Monday nights after Monday Night Raw or into Tuesday. Just give my thoughts. Big angles. I'm not going to go through every single match on Monday Night Raw. Probably won't do a lot of NXT stuff unless there's something big going on over there. And also the SmackDown. So if you're looking for a podcast or a show that's going to go match for match, go an hour and a half, this is probably not your show. But if you want a quick wrestling show that's going to hit on the big angles, the big topics, we're here for it. And again, I'm not saying I won't ever have guests. I hope to have some at some point. The big events kind of have some collaborations with some other wrestling podcasters and personalities and stuff like that. But maybe some indie wrestlers and other stuff like that. But for right now, though, the show is focused is mostly just going to be me giving my thoughts on the world of wrestling. Obviously, this is going up on YouTube. The audio podcast is not set up yet, but that will be there by the time Night of Champions recap comes out. So there will be an audio form of the podcast too as well for you to check out, and I hope you'll do that too as well. It's gonna be fun. Like I said, this is more passion. I just really like WWE and wrestling, and I've kind of wanted to do this for a little bit. Just now, I'm just decided to do it. And like I said, not going to spend a long bit on this introduction show. It's kind of the teaser / episode one mixed all in one. The real launching point will be the Night of Champions reaction on Saturday. But I do want to look at the card. Night of Champions, Saudi Arabia. And I've talked with this and some friends of mine that are also wrestling fans. I remember when this event first came about, what was it, the late 2000s? Anyways, Vince McMahon, it was every championship was defended at Night of Champions. And obviously, you look at this card, that is not the case. And there are some matches on this card that obviously aren't championship matches. If you want to give my thoughts on this whole thing, you should just call it King of the Ring and not call it, this. But it is what it is. It's called Night of Champions, and we're going to talk about it. And there's some good matches on SmackDown on Friday night too as well. We'll have John Cena there. He's advertised. We'll see what happens with him and CM Punk. CM Punk was not on Raw Monday night. That was an interesting play there. Tiffany Stratton will be taking on Nia Jax, last woman standing for the women's title. This has got to end this feud. I do not see any scenario, in my opinion, where Tiffany Stratton does not win this. Now, how does she get Nia Jax to not get up from the count of 10? That will be an intriguing part of it. But I just don't see Tiffany dropping the belt tonight. And I'll get more into that as we go through these matches. The Street Profits will take on the White Six for the tag titles. Here's my thing on this. I'm going to throw it out there. I think the White Six win this because if they lose the match against the Street Profits, and if WWE is still wanting to push that as a group, and really take that to the next level, they can't lose here. I mean, unless we get some cop out and there's a DQ or something like that, no, the match gets thrown out. The Street Profits are kind of in the spot tag team wise. They're a good team. They're good. They're one you want to have on your roster. They can help out the younger teams, but they're kind of at that point now where the Street Profits can take a loss and lose the belts. But the White Six, I don't think can. They need to win this. So I'm going to go to White Six to win the tag titles. And then Zelina Vega versus Julia. I think Zelina keeps the U.S. belt here, the U.S. women's title. But I wouldn't be shocked if it went the other direction either. This one's kind of 50-50. I'm like 60-40 on it. I mean, Zelina just won it, though. So you would think, okay, are they going to take the belt off of her? And is Julia ready to take that belt? I mean, she's just a newcomer here. So maybe it's a good showing for her. Keep the belt on Zelina for a little bit. So now let's move into Night of Champions for Saturday. And I'm just going to go in order. We're going to do the championship. The championship matches last. There's 2 non-title matches, which still does not make sense for a pay-per-view or a PLE called Night of Champions. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross with Scarlett. I think this is interesting. Of course, we've been seeing teases of this for a good bit with Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. A lot of backstage segments. I think a lot of fans have been wanting to see Karrion Kross get in the ring out on TV. I mean, he's been doing house shows. Of course, they don't do as many of those as they used to. But Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, honestly, I thought Sami Zayn would be in the King of the Ring final. Going into it, he was my prediction to win. That I thought, okay, he will win King of the Ring. He will challenge Gunther for the belt, win. And then, like a lot of people, I was buying the idea of maybe then that would be Seth Rollins' chance to cash in on Sami, and then you do this big storyline. Daniel Bryan-like storyline with Sami Zayn where he wins the belt at WrestleMania. But obviously, that's not where they're going with this. We'll get into the King of the Ring match later. So here's the thing with this. Okay, Sami Zayn just lost to Randy Orton. If you take Sami here and he wins the match, he just kind of moves on and kind of pushing him forward to still on that quest of becoming a world champion. You've been doing a lot, Karrion Kross, and there's a lot of fans that are behind him right now. They want Karrion Kross to get this big push. So do you go with Sami and just continue on an upward, trajectory of him getting closer to that world title? Or do you go with Karrion Kross? He picks it to win, and then maybe we see a little shift in Sami Zayn's character. But they're in Saudi Arabia. We know Sami's big there. I think Sami wins the match. But I think there is a thing you could do here with Karrion Kross. He gets to win and push on his momentum that he's gotten lately, just from the fans being excited about him. And then you could kind of tweak Sami a little bit. Maybe Karrion Kross was right with all this stuff. So, I don't know. But I think Sami wins just because where they're at in Saudi Arabia. We're getting a street fight between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, Roxanne Perez, I think, is going to be an element in here too as well. It's still Rhea versus the Judgment Day. It's just not Liv here. Of course, Liv's out. I'm going to say Rhea wins. It feels like that's a safe pick. But with Roxanne and Raquel, could this end up a thing, okay, where now Rhea's got to go find a partner to take on these two if that gets involved? And it's a street fight, so there's no disqualification. So many people can get involved in this match. Or will somebody come out and help Rhea Ripley? I know that's the thing here. If this is going to end here, Rhea wins. But if you want to continue this thing going, you do the tag match maybe in the future. Something with either Saturday night's main event coming up on the 12th, or of course the first weekend in August when you have SummerSlam. United States Championship, Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu, he wins the match. I am going to be very interested in the post-match part of this. Bloodline, we've seen Jimmy Uso get involved in this last week on SmackDown. All the other elements in this whole thing with Solo and Jacob Fatu, they're not the Bloodline, I know, but still with what they're doing there. So interesting. Jacob Fatu wins the match, though. All right, now let's get into this King and Queen of the Ring. Queen of the Ring, Asuka versus Jade Cargill. I think it's very simple here. Jade's going to win this. She's going to go challenge Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam for the women's championship. And then I think what's going to happen there, I think we're going to get continuation of Naomi and Jade. I think Naomi will cash in on Jade in that. I think Tiffany Stratton, it feels like her reign, her first reign as champion has kind of run its course to me. And it's time to make a change there. Have Jade win that match and then have the cash in. Then with the King of the Ring, you have Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Something I think we've wanted to see as wrestling fans, but this obviously doesn't have the build. And like Randy Orton has said a few weeks ago, he will do whatever it takes to get back at John Cena, so he can get another shot at him because of what happened at Backlash. And then Cody Rhodes, obviously, he's trying to do the same thing. He wants to get his belt back. This is a big match. Look, nothing could happen, but something in my gut tells me there's going to be some shenanigans in this match. I just feel that that's where we're going to go with it. I'm going to go with Cody in this one. I don't think Randy Orton wins, but I also think at some point we're going to get these two again. Maybe it'll be for the belt if Cody can get the championship back. With that said, is this the moment Randy Orton turns heel, or we see a side of it? And look, we thought we were going to get the punt with Kevin Owens back at WrestleMania. Of course, Kevin Owens with his injury, that didn't happen. But we haven't, and we almost saw the punt on John Cena. Didn't happen. So I'm kind of wondering, will this be not that he'll punt Cody? We'll get teases of it, but kind of like the seed being planted on a Randy Orton heel turn, because we just know how diabolical Randy is as a heel. So that is something I'll be interested with this, because we've seen Randy when Cody was the champion looking at the belt, kind of some seeds being planted there. And if Cody gets the belt, what happens there? And of course, the WWE Championship match, John Cena versus CM Punk. I am very excited to see this. These are two of my favorites, my two favorites, really. And honestly, my first favorite wrestler was Bill Goldberg, which I'm very excited. I know a lot of people, some of the IWC's not, but I'm very excited to see Goldberg and Gunther at the Saturday Night's Main Event, just because it's supposed to be his retirement match. One last time seeing Goldberg in the ring. I'm very excited about that in Atlanta. That's going to be a lot of fun, I think, to watch. And if you're there in the audience that night, that's going to be I think, a good atmosphere. That they need to have Jesse the Body Ventura on that call, by the way. But anyway, so John Cena, CM Punk. I remember their feud. Of course, this is the first time where Cena's the heel, Punk's the baby face, kind of like it was with Orton and Cena back at Backlash. And it's very interesting. And I really, where John Cena's going, I feel like he'll be cheered here, just where in Saudi Arabia. I mean, I think CM Punk with some cheers, maybe not just because of his comments in the past about Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to get into all that. If you want to know what hell he said, you can go Google it. But will they boo Punk here? I feel like Cena will be the favorite from the crowd. And then going into when the match will say, okay, we'll get these two. It'll be a great match. It'll be a lot of fun. CM Punk will carry Cena because we can tell, obviously, age and ring rust is a thing with John. And he's safe because he don't want to get hurt because, look, he's an actor. And he has, a career. He doesn't want to do anything to jeopardize that. And honestly, he probably doesn't want to do anything to jeopardize the rest of the retirement run, because say if he got hurt, then that just messes everything up. But now after the promo last week, the fans were cheering it, and John Cena obviously had a moment there where he was soaking it in. Just the line, and look, this may never come up to pay off or anything. He said there, the mood is changing. Was that him hinting at us that he's about to turn face again? And this could be a great opportunity for the double turn. A lot of people talking about the Cody heel thing. WWE cannot turn Cody heel right now, but maybe flip it. Or do you flip it at SummerSlam? Because if you have a face John Cena, face Cody Rhodes, that'd be interesting. What we probably thought was getting at WrestleMania before John Cena decided to kick Cody Rhodes right between the legs. John Cena's going to win the match either way, how it goes down. But I wonder, is this kind of, because we're halfway there on his retirement tour. So now will this be the chance? Okay, where John Cena goes back to being a babyface. John Cena's going to win regardless. How we get there is going to be the fun part, I think, of this match with CM Punk and John Cena. Will be just what we've seen out of John Cena matches, where eventually the referee gets knocked out, he'll kick Punk between the legs, and then hit him with a belt, 1, 2, 3, or Will we see a little bit something different? I feel like we're going with something different here. I feel like they're going to give us something we haven't seen with these John Cena matches, especially with it being CM Punk and just a past with these two. It's going to be fun. And once again, if you're checking this out on YouTube or the audio podcast, hopefully by Saturday morning, I have the whole audio podcast thing set up. But I will be live, and I will recap and give my thoughts on what happened at Night of Champions. You can follow me on social media at PJordanSEC and check out all my other work as well for the Auburn Wire, if you're football fans and stuff like that, and Last Word on College Football, and of course this high school football season on 96.9 The Legend. All right, we went about 16 minutes on that. Hope you enjoyed it. For the people that listen to it, and I will chat with you guys on Saturday, and you will be able to see me on Saturday. I will have the video part up. Anyways, until Saturday, everybody enjoy Night of Champions. Bye-bye.